Today, I will share with you the stories of 3 paintings. Pavel the Eccentric. The Emperor's Response. Court Intrigues. Without further ado, let's begin. The Portrait's Tale, Pavel the Eccentric. On a beautiful autumn day in 1798, the gathered crowd in Ghechina marveled at the sight of the Horse Guards Regiment, assembled on the palace square. This regiment had incorporated units from the Ghechina forces back in 1796. The inspection was led by none other than Emperor Pavel himself, resplendent in his ceremonial cavalry uniform. The squadrons flawlessly executed intricate maneuvers. However, a sudden gust of wind began to drown out the shouted commands. Formations and evolutions became muddled. Frustrated, Pavel shouted, "Charge ahead at a gallop." But he noticed that the horse guards remained in place. Enraged, the emperor, unaware of the reason for their inaction, rode up to the formation and ordered, "March ceremoniously, to Siberian exile, on foot, march." The drums thundered, and the strains of the March of the Life Guard Horse Regiment filled the air as the regiment marched past Pavel heading towards a distant and fearsome land of exile. Alexander III and the Austrian ambassador. Within the Winter Palace, during a grand banquet, Alexander III engaged in conversation with the Austrian ambassador. Meanwhile, another Austro-Russian conflict was brewing in the Balkans. The Austrian envoy spoke irritably, and at the end of their discussion, he threatened that Austria could mobilize 2 or 3 corps against Russia. Without uttering a word, Alexander, with a smile on his face, picked up a fork, bent it into a loop, and casually tossed it in the direction of the Austrian ambassador. "This is what I'll do to your 2 or 3 mobilized corps," calmly stated the Russian emperor. Court Intrigues, a delightful tale. Envy and court intrigues can sometimes take on amusing forms. One day, the renowned architect Lvov strolled through the gardens of Ghechina alongside Abalyanov, the chief administrator of Ghechina and a close confidant of Pavel. Spotting a picturesque spot, Lvov suggested building a romantic ruin in that location. Abalyanov supported the idea and, to add a surprise for the emperor, proposed a plan. "While you work on it, I will distract Pavel, ensuring he doesn't come to this corner of the park." And so, they proceeded accordingly. Now, here's what happened next. Having finally completed the project, Lvov brought Abalyanov to admire it. Overwhelmed with admiration, Abalyanov kissed Lvov and expressed his gratitude. "I will go fetch His Majesty right away," he said, "and bring him here. Meanwhile, Nikolai Alexandrovich, hide in these bushes. I will call for you." True to his word, during the emperor's usual hour of leisurely stroll, he arrived on horseback with his entourage, dismounted, and praised everything in awe. Abalyanov approached him, whispered something in his ear, and the emperor embraced him, expressing his gratitude. He then mounted his horse and departed. Lvov, however, remained behind the bushes, never finding the courage to expose Abalyanov to the emperor. From the Memoirs of E.N. Lvova.